Quick heads up before we go further. Parts 1 and 2 were built on real historian debate. This part isn't. This is the fun version, the biggest, wildest chain of consequences we can honestly justify, starting from one battle. Buckle up. Here's the big swing. Instead of staying fragmented, the German states kept weak and divided by Austria for decades eventually get absorbed. Not unified by Prussia, absorbed by France. By the 1870s, there's no Germany at all. There's just a much bigger France. Picture a Napoleonic dynasty, his descendants. Not him ruling a continental empire stretching from the Atlantic to Poland. No Kaiser. No German Empire. Just 3 generations of Bonapartes running most of continental Europe. That forces the weirdest alliance in this timeline's history. Austria and Russia, former enemies, banding together out of pure fear of the French superstate next door. Britain joins them reluctantly. Because of France, this big threatens everyone's colonies too. So you still get a world war, just decades earlier, and with completely different sides. Call it the Franco-Continental War France, and its absorbed territories against an Austro-Russo-British coalition, fought in the early 1900s instead of 1914. No Franz Ferdinand, no assassination in Sarajevo. Just an empire that finally got too big for everyone else to tolerate, and a war that ends, decades early, with France broken up for good this time, split into pieces by the winning coalition. And here's the twist. Breaking up the French superstate finally gives German nationalism the opening it never had. A unified Germany actually forms a century later than in our history, born out of the ashes of this war instead of causing one. Which means, in this version of 2026, Germany isn't Europe's old power. It's practically the new kid. No World War II, the way we know it, because the very country that caused it in our timeline doesn't even exist yet when it would have. One battle, a 300-year detour, and a Germany that shows up a century late to a party it never actually started. Completely different history. Same one big question. How much can really change before it just changes back? Let me know your version in the comments.